What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again, talking about Blue Boys Network, Everton, Manchester United, everyone to do with Jaden Philogene and everything else that has gone wrong for Everton Football Club today. However, let's start talking about the big news, really, which is Dominic Calvert-Lewin apparently has essentially said he is not signing a new deal and Everton will now listen to offers. And the reason I start with this is because John gave me a very passionate monologue about this earlier. Very passionate, determined, driven. He literally was like the leader of man and woman and anything other. He was sensational. So, John, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Right, well, the reports are to be believed. Been a contract on the table for quite a while for Dominic, and he's refused to sign up till now. Obviously, a bid come in from Newcastle for him, couldn't agree personal terms, and obviously the bid that Newcastle put in for him wasn't enough for Everton. I think Everton have put a price tag on him of £35 million. Now, they're going to have to lower that because I don't want unhappy players at Everton Football Club. He's refusing to sign the contract. We're going to have to lower the £35 million asking price. I think I'm right in saying this is the last year of his contract, so we lose him for nothing. I wouldn't give him another minute in an Everton shirt, whether that be in pre-season or in the Premier League, because we know his injury record. If he gets a hammy again, the sale doesn't go through. We have an unhappy player on our hands who potentially goes at the end of next season, well, the season coming, for nothing. And I've said this about whether it be Branthwaite, who hasn't pushed for a move, but whether it be Branthwaite or Nana, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, anyone. I don't want unhappy players at Everton Football Club. I want players, like all Everton fans, like everyone watching this, like you, Michael. We want players who are 100% committed to the course. Now, when you've got players who are refusing to sign contract that's been on the table for at least 6 months, they're not going to be dedicated to the cause. They're not going to give 100% in that blue shirt. They're not going to give 100% of the badge. So as soon as a bid comes in that Everton accept, there's the door, Dominic. Shut it on your way out. Can't hear you.
You love that, don't you?
Stop muting it.
What are you saying?
I wish you'd stop muting the mic. Every video.
It picks up so much now, John, with these fantastic headphones. Anyway, oh, look, he's moody with me. Still ugly. So,
like your man.
Brilliant. So, I get people's opinion that Calvert-Lewin has been a good servant to Everton Football Club, blah, blah, blah. But I also have the same opinion that you do, which is if a player doesn't want to be at a football club, then get rid of him. I think the sentiment, as you rightly said earlier, does need to stop, and I think Everton are guilty of it. But this Everton team will cash in on Lewin because they've got to. They are not in a position where they can't. Now, these talks with Manchester United over £30 million, I don't believe that personally. It doesn't make sense to me when they've got players like Rasmus Højlund and they've spent money on other players in and around him. It doesn't make sense to go and sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's going to be a number 2 striker. So if it's game time that he wants, surely you stay at Everton. And if it's money he wants, then yeah, I get why he'd sign for Manchester United because they'd probably give him the money that he wants. But I just don't understand. And I also am struggling with the fact that this Everton team and Dyche nursed him back to full strength after 2.5 years of injuries on and off. He's never really been right. He's always had a niggly hamstring to a degree, but over the last few years, it's been horrendous. We stood by him for 24 games last season without scoring a goal. So I'm struggling with I'm struggling with all of the support because look, I like Lewin, and I was one of those fans that somebody had a go at me once last season, but I'm one of them fans that shouted, "Come on, Lewin, you'll get the next one. Come on, Dom, you'll get the next one," because I could see that he was putting in performances that warranted a goal, or he was doing well in games. I honestly think if Everton got £30 million, I'd pick him up and take him myself. And I'm not even trying to be derogatory about it. I'm just trying to say, I honestly think that he is not the player that he probably was 2.5 years ago before all of these injuries. And I also don't think he's going to have the heart in it, like you've just said. So what's the point in keeping him? And if you can get any more than 15 to 20 million quid for him, then it's a win-win. No matter what, he's got to be sold. He's got to be sold no matter what, because we need the money. So we might as well go and spend it on a player that does want to play for Everton Football Club.
The thing is, do you know what it reminds me of? And I don't know whether it's to the extent and the extreme, but Ross Barkley used Everton to get fit for that move to Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying Dom's had this lined up for 2 years, because Everton have been brilliant with Dominic Calvert-Lewin for the 2 years, more so that he's had these injuries. Now, I'm not sitting here just slagging Calvert-Lewin off, because I'm not asked if Calvert-Lewin goes, because it doesn't smack of an out-and-out sensational centre forward when he's averaging 5 goals a season over 8 years. I'm not asked. I'm not bitter towards him. I'd be the same with any player if they treated Everton like this. But what I want to ask you is, where does he actually go and win something, better himself than Everton, where, as you quite rightly say, as long as he's fit, he'll be the main striker every week? Where does Calvert-Lewin go from Everton and get 120 to 140,000 pound a week, be first choice, and score consistently? Because I'm struggling to name a club.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is the thing. He's given a Billy Big Bollocks that he thinks he can move to a bigger, better club and get the money he thinks he deserves when he scored 54 goals in 8 years. I'm sorry, you don't want 140k a week. 5 goals on average a season. Tell you what, there's one club, if he could stay fit, and they were sniffing round him before he started getting the injuries. And for me, if this club had a striker last season, they win the league, and that's Arsenal. Now, I don't know whether Arsenal will come in for him because of the last 2 years with his injury records. I think he'd score goals at Arsenal the way he plays. But I think Arsenal need better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Because for me, Arsenal was short of a striker last season and they win the Premier League because Gabriel Jesus was in and out the team. I don't think Calvert-Lewin going there would score enough goals for them. I don't think Calvert-Lewin scores enough goals wherever he goes. So as you quite rightly say, he should have signed the contract at Everton. It looks like his injuries could possibly be behind him for the last 2 years since Dyche has come in and he's nursed them back. Come to some sort of agreement with a contract. Don't give him stupid money like he's asking for. Stay another 12 months. Give him a 12-month contract because it runs out the end of next season. See how he does with this season coming. But if he wants to play like that, then, as I said before, he's unhappy. See ya. I'm not interested in players like that. Sentiment needs to stop now because he's been there for 8 years. Everton will try and kiss his ass and nurture him and pussyfoot round him. No, if you don't want to be here, ta-da.
I completely agree. And the last thing I really want to talk about is Jaden Philogene, who this morning he's signing for Everton. This afternoon he's signing for Ipswich. We heard last night, and we'd heard different things around Philogene, and obviously we'd done on the video that we were definitely interested. A deal was agreed. Everton were very much in for him. Some of the comments on the video were, "This is pointless. It's not happening." Blah 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 blah. Then this morning, first thing, it looks like it is happening, and we're sitting there getting all excited. And now it doesn't look like it's happening. I don't understand why you pick Ipswich over Everton as of right now, unless it's money.
So I phoned you today to ask if Everton have had a bid of £16 million accepted by Hull, and then Ipswich have come in and betted it by £2 million, can he still enter talks with Everton? You said he can because the bid has been accepted. Now, all I can put it down to, listen, for me, he's been badly advised by his agent here. For that extra £2 million, he gets a bigger signing on fee going to Ipswich. but his agent makes more money as well. And I know it's only £2 million, but we know what agents are like. They're money greedy. So for the difference of £2 million, whatever an agent gets out of that could be 200,000 or 20,000. I don't know, right? But he's been badly advised. Now he's 22 years of age, Philogene. He's got plenty of time ahead of him to play for better clubs than Everton if he smashes at Everton. But no disrespect to the Tractor Boys, for £2 million and for the bonuses and the signing on fee you're going to get there, surely you'd pick Everton. So I don't know what's gone on here. I think Everton have got a stance that they're not going any higher than that £16 million. They're not going to go any higher than that. It's down to the player now. We heard this morning he chose Everton, as you say. Now it's Ipswich. It'll probably be Everton again tomorrow. But what I will say, we need to draw the line under this Philogene deal sooner rather than later, because over the past few years, we've seen Everton put all their eggs in one basket with certain players. We've missed out on that player, and then it comes to the last couple of days of the transfer window, and we put bids in here, there, and everywhere. And the response from Everton is, well, we tried, and we left it a bit too late to get the deals over the line. So if this is not going to happen, move on. Go to the next on the list now. Give him an ultimatum. Give his agent an ultimatum. We want to know by 5 o'clock tomorrow night, are you going to come to Everton or are you going to Ipswich? You can tell by his response where we're going to stand. From that, take it as it is, move on, and go to next on your list. And don't hang around for a deal that possibly doesn't look like is going to happen now. Move on. Just move on. We haven't got time to waste. The players are back in pre-season now. We know we need more attacking players in. We know we need another winger in. We need strikers in. Don't rest on your laurels with these certain players and drag the talks out and try and bend their ear to come to Everton. If they've got no intentions of it, move on.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. And to be honest, I think that's it. There's nothing else overly dramatic. Obviously, if anything changes tomorrow, we'll do another video. But there's really nothing else to add really today. Is there? Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on all the socials. Make sure you Google search Blue Boys Network and you get deeply into those links. And we will see you all soon for the next video.
Cheers, folks.